I'm Mark Silverthorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. I often receive phone calls and emails from individuals who are beside themselves because they are in debt and they are receiving collection calls. If you are one of these individuals, then I have a message for you. Your debt situation is not as bleak as you might think. You might be asking yourself, do I know what I'm talking about? Well, for 12 years, I worked as a collection agency lawyer for 4 of the largest collection agencies operating in Canada. I subsequently worked 9 years as a consumer lawyer representing indebted Canadians across the country who were struggling with debt. And during this period, I wrote a book titled The Wolf at the Door: What to Do When Collection Agencies Come Calling, published by McClellan and Stewart. I literally wrote the book on helping Canadians struggling with debt. And I am often consulted by the media on issues related to consumer debt and collection agencies. Nobody in Canada goes to jail for being in debt. Let's contrast that with Victorian England. In the 18th and early 19th centuries, more than half the people in English prisons were there for being in debt. During this period, more than 10,000 people per year were imprisoned simply because they were in debt. If you are receiving collection calls, then you likely have some short-term and some long-term issues. In the short term, you will likely want to either avoid or stop collection calls. In the longer term, you're going to want to have a plan for dealing with your debt. There are a number of things that you can do to avoid collection calls. And there's a link in the description to a video titled How to Avoid Collection Calls. It is also possible to stop collection calls. And this typically involves sending a special letter to the collection agency or other entity that is calling you. This letter is commonly referred to as a cease and desist letter. And after you send this letter to the organization that is calling you, it is then illegal for them to call you. If you owe money to creditors, then the passage of time may be your best friend. Your creditor must sue you within a particular period of time. Otherwise, you will be in a position where you can avoid paying a penny to your creditor. Most Canadians live in a jurisdiction where the statute of limitations is 2 years. In Quebec, it is 3 years, and in a few provinces, it is 6 years. And there is a link in the description to a video on this topic. In circumstances where you have not made a payment on your account for a minimum of 6 months, your creditor might be prepared to agree to accept a one-time lump sum payment for significantly less than what you owe as settlement in full. I have a lot of experience assisting Canadians with settlements, and I have settled accounts for as little as 15 cents on the dollar. And there is a link in the description to a video on this topic. Collection agencies rarely sue people. During my 12 years working as a collection agency lawyer for 4 of Canada's largest collection agencies, we rarely sued people. If your creditor does sue you, then there is no guarantee that your creditor is going to recover any monies from you. Ideally, what your creditor wants to be able to do is to sue you, obtain a judgment, and put a lien on your property. And then when you go to refinance the property or sell it, then they'll get their monies. However, if you do not own real property in your own name, then it's going to be difficult for your creditor to obtain monies from you. In these circumstances, to some extent, your creditor is going to be limited to obtaining monies by way of garnishment. The most common type of garnishment is a wage garnishment, and there are many circumstances where a creditor will not be able to successfully recover monies using a wage garnishment. And this will include the following scenarios: where an individual is paying court-ordered support, where an individual has a number of other judgments against them, where an individual owes money to other creditors, and where an individual is prepared to quit their job if their wages are garnished, in which case that terminates the garnishment. Canada is generous towards those with serious debt problems. The purpose of our insolvency laws are to provide an honest but unfortunate debtor with a fresh start. You are insolvent if your total debts are greater than your total assets. If you are insolvent, then you have the option of making either a consumer proposal or filing for personal bankruptcy. If you make a consumer proposal, then you will be repaying a portion of your unsecured debt to your creditors in equal monthly installments over a period not to exceed 5 years. A consumer proposal may be attractive for those with significant assets. If you file for personal bankruptcy, then most, if not all, of your unsecured debts will be discharged or forgiven. Personal bankruptcy will not be attractive if you own significant assets. Furthermore, personal bankruptcy might not be attractive if you have a significant income. Governments in Canada do not want those in debt to become destitute. Accordingly, each province and territory has a law shielding some assets from creditors. This property is known as exempt property. Exempt property includes RRSPs and RIFs. It also includes a few $1,000s worth of assets in the following categories: clothing, household items, an automobile, and work-related tools. The exact amounts that are beyond the reach of creditors vary by province. Furthermore, as a general rule, pension income and social assistance payments are beyond the reach of creditors. As you can see, if you are in debt, then things are not as bleak as you might think. If you would like to learn more information, I would invite you to visit my firm's website, debtcoachsilverthorn.ca. I would also encourage you to watch some of the YouTube videos on the Debt Coach Silverthorn YouTube channel. And for those of you who would like some one-on-one coaching, you are welcome to schedule a 30-minute telephone consultation with me. Hi, I'm Mark from Debt Coach Silverthorn, and we'd like to get your feedback in terms of what some of our future YouTube topics should be. Draw from your pain and your own experience and let us know. I mean, for example, how to stop collection calls, or the top 10 tactics for protecting your assets and income from your creditors. But please let us know what kind of topics you would like us to cover in some of our upcoming YouTube videos. Thanks.